Everybody tells me how
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, it is Friday, and you're hearing that music, which means that it's time for Ocala Magazine Radio, and Kelly Hart is in the studio to take us through the world of Ocala Magazine Radio. Good morning, Kelly. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Friday, and you got your magazine open. And
It is Friday, and
tomorrow's Light Up Ocala.
Tomorrow's Light Up Ocala.
It's a big deal, right?
It is. It's a big, busy weekend.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
an exciting weekend.
I know. I love Light Up Ocala.
Yes,
it's one
I
of
do
my favorite
too.
events of the year.
I do too. I go every year.
And the ice skating rink is up now.
It's back.
Or the plastic skating rink, as they say.
Yeah. I'm going to have to try that out.
I don't know. Have you seen anybody skating on it yet?
I haven't, no.
I haven't
All
either.
I've seen is the frame and then some lights.
But did you see any of the pieces? It looks like a big puzzle they put together. Did you see it?
I didn't, no.
It's like, just picture a giant puzzle, just like a puzzle has with little interlocking pieces, and each piece is maybe 2 feet by 2 feet or so.
Really?
Yeah, and they put it together, and
So
people
it has
skate.
seams, but you can
I guess
skate
so.
over it?
Yeah, that's what they showed in the. Where did I see that? On Facebook or something.
Well, that's interesting.
Maybe Janie Pope posted it or somebody
That's
posted it.
interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I think it's great.
Are you
that
a
it's
skater?
back. I'm not. I can't even roller skate.
Oh, okay.
I'm the person that's
So you're
on
not
the
out there.
wall climbing.
By the way,
That's
I saw a
me.
photo of you on the toilet. I just want to
Oh,
make sure.
thank you for bringing that
Yeah,
up.
that was cute.
Thank you. Well, it's funny. I don't know who took the picture. But it was at my great grandmother's house, of course. Many, many years ago.
It's important to point out.
Yes, it was not a recent picture of me. Oh my gosh.
I did that on purpose.
So that is important to point out. And it's so funny how many people commented that they have the same picture of themselves or their own child in that same
Yeah, but I never had one of you,
compromising
so now I
spot.
do.
Now you do. Feel free to right-click it, save it, make it your profile picture.
Imagine if everybody did that.
That would be funny, but interesting. I want to encourage, and I put it on Facebook yesterday, that we're going to be talking today about a new feature that we have every month in Ocala Magazine. It's called Second Helpings.
All right.
And it features a lot of our local resale and vintage and consignment businesses, because
Okay.
that's such the rave now, all of the resale and vintage and unique one-of-a-kind things. So we've dedicated a complete section to it that started last month, and it will be something that we do every single month in Ocala Magazine. And I'm excited about it because I'm a thrifter. I don't know if you're a thrifter.
I've heard you say that.
I'm a thrifter, and I haven't always been. In fact, I can remember being younger, and I've been very blessed. I didn't come from a family where I'm the oldest, so I didn't have any hand-me-downs.
Right.
And I don't remember a time where buying secondhand was our only option, but I do remember going to flea markets and things, just because my parents like to do that kind of thing.
Right.
So as an adult, about 2 years ago, over at the other station, I think we even mentioned it on one of the programs there.
That was the same station, by the way, just a different studio.
Different studio, I'm sorry. Yes, different studio. Same
Feels like a
station,
different
of course,
station, I
of
know,
course.
yeah.
But it was right around the time of my birthday, about 2 years ago, and every single year I try to devote a year to either giving something up or incorporating something new for that year.
Yes. Iced tea the year that I remember.
There was sweet tea,
Sweet tea,
and I've
okay.
done soda, and so there's been a couple things. And French fries one year, I went a whole year without a single French fry.
Wow.
I don't know why I do it. Maybe it's foolish, but to me, it's just something to kind of. It's a goal for a
How
year.
long have you done that?
I would say I've probably done it for the last 6 years.
Is there anything that you gave up that you never went back to?
Oh gosh, no. In fact, the very next morning after my French fry year, I went all over
You couldn't
it.
wait,
All
right?
my favorites, Chick-fil-A,
Oh, no.
one of my favorites, McDonald's. I was all over the place with the French fries. But I will say that I'm not a big soda drinker after giving it up. And then the first soda I had, it was like
Oh, really?
drinking- Oh yeah, I thought my whole body was going to explode.
Did you
It's
ever
not a
smoke?
pleasant
You never
experience.
smoked, right?
Never
Yeah.
smoked, no. So that's not something I was able to give up.
See, I did. I smoked cigars, and
Really?
I've been done with them 6, 7 years, maybe.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
even when you're playing poker or anything?
I don't play poker.
Oh, well, maybe you should start playing poker
Yeah, then I'll
instead.
pick up the cigars again. Yeah. Well, I always said I reserve the right to have one the day my son says, we're going to have a baby.
Oh, sure.
I'll
That's special.
I'll have it for that, yeah.
You'll definitely, yeah, for sure. Everybody should smoke a cigar for a new baby.
I think so, yeah.
So one particular year, I decided instead of giving something up, I was going to any clothing clothing article that I was going to buy for myself or my family was going to come secondhand. And so I did that for a year, and now it's just become, I see what all the buzz is about. It's very exciting to go into a store, find something unique, no one else is going to have it, something vintage. Some of the stuff is embellished. It's really kind of, you never know what you're going to find, and not only that, you find it and it fits and you love it, but it's
so let me ask you something about that.
Okay.
I'm guessing that has a lot to do with things that have nothing to do with the price. Am I right? Like, do you think about the history behind it, the person who owned it? Does that come to mind?
Sometimes it does. I bought, when blazers, like at the beginning of last year, blazers were huge. Blazers were like, and even back with the shoulder pads are now, big and huge. And so it was perfect because, those are the very things that people, when they went out of style, they thought, oh gosh, I've had these in my closet, I'm gonna get rid of them. Of course, then they come right back. And so you go in and you find them. And so you're, trying on these blazers and you think, I wonder if somebody wore this like to a first job interview or some special event, and now here it is, and I'm just going to wear it with some jeans.
Yeah.
But there's wedding dresses and there's holiday sweaters and things. So,
Did you ever buy anything that you really didn't intend to wear yourself, but you thought somebody, like you saw something that...
All the time.
Oh, this looks like Larry. I'm going to buy this for Larry.
All the time. I'll pick something up, and if it's too small, lucky for my sister, she's half my size. So it's such a...
small.
Well, she's very small.
Half your size.
Pretty much, yeah.
No.
I know. I love it. She's the skinny sister. Yeah, no, that's her. But
you're not one of these women that looks in the mirror and says, oh, I'm so fat, are you?
No. But I am still a woman. So you look in the mirror and you're thinking, that could probably use some improvement. But I'm not too hard on myself.
I hope not.
But I'll pick something up, and if it's too small and I love it, then I'll usually get it for her. Or I've done it for my mom. I'll come home and have things because it was so cute, but it wasn't my size. So I have to give it to someone. So people around me definitely benefit from my...
Do you remember the price of everything you bought?
Well, some places, like for example, Goodwill, the T-shirts are just this price, and the blazers and jeans, they're this
really?
price.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
So it's easy to remember because as long as you know what item it is, you know what price it is.
Right. Well, we thought, Doug, our friend who's hanging around here today.
Yes.
His brother died couple years ago, and his brother lived in the Keys, and Doug really had no money. So we took him to Goodwill and literally got him all decked out, Robin and I.
Yeah.
We got him all decked out in a full suit. I mean, we had to piece it together, but he looked good. Guess how much we spent for the whole thing? Shoes, pants, jacket, shirt, everything, tie, belt, less than $20.
Less than $20.
I am not making it up.
So you leave out of there with what you needed, but the thrill of not having spent but $20, it's addictive. It really is.
Right.
And I have watched over several years, probably one of the first resale shops that I became addicted to, and I say that genuinely because it's addictive, was the White Elephant when it was down on North Magnolia.
Oh, okay.
And she sells, it's more home decor and things of that nature. And over the last several years, it's evolved. It's become more of a thing, and they're everywhere. And I love it because it doesn't matter how many shops there are. Everything's different. There's not going to be, this lamp is not going to be anywhere else.
Right.
So that's the cool thing about this resale network of people, is that if you didn't find what you wanted here, they can send you over there because it's not the same product.
So bring it back to the magazine. So the magazine is focusing on these stores. Okay.
Yes. So we've decided what we wanted to do was we wanted to dedicate a feature. It's called Second Helpings. And if you picked up the November issue, you'll see the advertisers, our Second Helping advertisers, who are the thrift and the consignment retailers. And then we also pick one of our advertisers and we do a spotlight feature on them.
And who's that one?
So it's really fun.
Who did you feature there?
This is Legends, which is over in the Chelsea Plaza, right across from Publix 40 East. And this is Lydia Colon. She's the owner. And I went in, and this is what I love about my job, is not just putting it into writing, but I get to interview some really unique people and learn about their lives. And she was in a bad car accident.
Oh, wow.
And probably, according to her, should have lost her life. I mean, it was just tragic, but she didn't.
Wow.
And so she felt like she had a second chance at life and always wanted to own her own business. And never did. She thought, you know what? I have a second chance. I'm going to do what I want to do. And so originally she opened up a little bead shop, and something just kept kind of hounding at her about this wasn't, retail was what she wanted to do. She wanted to own a small business, but beads weren't it for her. And with the whole idea of having a second purpose at life, she decided she wanted to open up a consignment shop because these things that she sells now have a second chance at life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
It's almost spiritual.
It is. And so I ask her, because I know the perspective of a consumer that walks into one of these shops and gets to see and take home these fun things. But for a business owner, the experience she gets is that people walk in, and I know because I've done it myself, and they'll pick something up and say, oh my gosh, this reminds me of my great grandma. I hadn't thought about this in years.
Oh, wow.
And they'll break into a story with her about how the memory of their grandmother or grandfather or
Right.
So she says all day long people walk in and they not only are purchasing things they want or need, but there's always some story she's learning from people about how things connect them back to a particular era of their life.
Really?
So it's so interesting.
So did you find anything that takes you back? I'm trying to think of, something like a lunchbox, as simple as that is, might take somebody back.
I've got a couple things. My grandmother had the little, I know you've seen them, and they're hideous, okay? But I love them because they remind me of my grandmother. They're the ceramic tree with the plastic lights on the tips.
Yes.
Right? They're the tackiest.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was in one of these thrift stores a few years back, and there one was. And now, of course, I hadn't. Sometimes you don't think about things that are special to you until you don't even realize you miss it until then you see it.
All of a sudden,
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it triggers a memory.
Grandma.
Like an old song, right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, and I saw this thing and I thought, oh my God, I remember Grandma had those things at Christmas. And it was a couple bucks, and so I bought it. Just so I thought, what, I'm going to just set it up somewhere so it'll remind me of her at the holidays. Do you know I own 7 of those things? 7. I know.
So do you have a special place for them? Are they all?
Well, this year I'm in a new home than I was last year. So I'll have to figure out where all my special places are for everything. But I put them like a little grouping. And it doesn't, to me it looks beautiful because, of course, there's a special meaning behind it.
I'm sure it does.
But it's just, it's so funny.
I had one, actually.
You had one?
Well, not me. My mom passed away back in, when did she pass away? Last November, a year ago. Okay. So since she died, my family and I have gotten her house sold. And in emptying the house, I found one of those, exactly what you're talking about. And in fact, I think we donated to the Marion County Literacy Council for the yard sale.
Maybe it's the same. Maybe one of them that I own is one of those trees. Who knows?
Wow, could be.
Who knows?
Exactly like you just. And in fact, I think my mom made it in a ceramics class.
It's so funny.
I think it was one of those self-made ones.
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny, too, because, for example, I was born in 1979. So there was a large...
So you don't remember the Kennedy assassination?
So I don't remember... No, I don't. Although my mother is a huge JFK buff, so I know more about it than I probably should. But I was born in 79, but I connect very closely to the 60s and 70s. Just for some reason. Maybe it's growing up, my parents played vinyls a lot, and they weren't hippies or anything like that, but there's something interesting about that era to me. So when I go into some of these shops and I see albums or Beatle memorabilia or things of that nature, or Carly Simon, all these kinds of things, to me, I feel like I'm kind of connecting to an era that I really wasn't a part of. Sort of,
Interesting. Is it romantic to you?
Oh, I love it.
Does romance fit in there?
Yes.
I don't necessarily mean with a particular person.
No, I love it. When I'm at home and I have a record collection. Some of it I've added to. Most of it's the records my parents gave me when I moved out. And because I listened to them more than they ever probably did.
Oh, really?
So they gave them to me, and I still play them. If I'm making dinner, I'll put a record on, and I like the scratchy sound of it.
Really?
And I think it's phenomenal. Other than having to go over and pick it up and flip it and change it every time I want to.
Yeah, that is a pain.
Listen to it, but who cares? It's the novelty of it. I think it's amazing.
Do you know, in production, Robin and I do music production, and we have actually the ability to add scratchiness to the audio. I don't know who uses it. It's a feature there, though.
I love the scratchy. Yeah, and so I love this section, and I had put on Facebook that if anybody was excited or as thrilled about secondhand shopping as me, they could certainly call in 622-WOCA, or if they have any tips. It's almost like a little cult kind of, or gang. I know those are two very negative words.
But here's the interesting thing. This is an observation I've made, that if I go into a junk shop, I'm not saying a nicely manicured secondhand shop like you're talking about, but just a guy maybe who just doesn't take care of his shop, and you see something sitting there, you might not recognize it for what it is, for its value. It might just, he's selling it for $1, and you maybe have a lot more value associated with it, whether it's literally worth more or not.
Sure. Well, Kim, she does sales at Ocala magazine, and she, of course, all of us at the magazine, all of us ladies, that is why we all jumped on board with this section, because each of us in our own way has some passion for whether it be antiques or thrifting or garage sales or whatever. And Kim shared a story with me that she was digging through a bin at one of the Interfaith or Goodwills or something and found a piece of artwork, paid a couple bucks for it, and found out it was worth some money, put it on eBay, and I think she ended up making a couple $100
Oh, really?
off of a painting.
Really?
Now, I've never had that experience. When I buy things, I'm not buying them for the value. I'm thinking, this is super cute,
Yeah,
I like this hat, or this piece of artwork is cute. So who knows what I may have bought.
So do you find yourself in a theme? Like you mentioned the Christmas trees, but do you have other themes? Like some people have elephants or Disney stuff. Do you have any themes going on?
Well, I have one little dedicated section in my hallway, which is Beatles.
Oh, you like Beatles stuff?
Memorabilia, yes. But it's not posters or things that you can just run into a collectible shop, Spencer's or something like that, and buy. One of the things I have is actually John Lennon's face, and there's a gentleman that sits outside of Gator Joe's during the summer. He has one arm. He uses a magnifying glass, and he burns the face of whatever celebrity you choose into this piece of wood.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
I know.
That's pretty clever.
Amazing. I know. So things like that, a picture of me on Abbey Road crossing it with the comparison picture of.
Did you go to Abbey? You went there?
I did.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I did. Of course. It was phenomenal. Again, I felt like I was kind of going back in time as much as I could to an era that, I love for some reason.
Did you get into the studio? They probably wouldn't let people in there.
No, I didn't. But, of course,
see the
I
front
touched
door,
it.
though, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
the whole thing. I was one of those weirdos. It was like,
That's
take
not
1,000
weird. That's
pictures.
Cool. I'm into that, too.
It's cool, but...
Yeah.
But,
Well, I stood outside the Dakota where John Lennon eventually was shot, waited for him. There was only 2 other people there, a friend of mine and some girl. And he came out with Yoko, and she, the girl, was there all the time, so she knew the routine. So, so he waved, he whistled for a cab. He and Yoko got into the cab. And then I figured, well, I've seen him. I don't want to bother him anymore. She said, no, he'll be back. He'll talk to us once he comes back. I said, well, he doesn't owe me anything. I paid for the $6 for the record, and I got it.
Sure.
He doesn't owe me.
Wow, what a phenomenal story.
So I have a brush with sort of kind of.
That is amazing.
I mean, he wasn't real close. It was
Well, I don't even know where my passion for other than, like I said, my parents had all these albums, and I just played them over and over and over as a child. And so, which, now looking back, I'm thinking, I can't believe my parents let me listen to some of this stuff.
Right. Oh, did you like the musical Hair? Did you like that?
I was
really,
okay with musicals, like the Rocky Horror and some of that stuff. I like some
but Hair
of
in
those.
particular, I was just curious. Did you?
It's
discover that one didn't do anything.
No,
for you.
no. I've seen it. I've heard it. It wasn't one in my parents' collection, but they had like the Carpenters and Mamas and the Papas and Carly Simon and all of that kind of stuff. So that's what I grew up on. So it's fun to go in and rediscover some of these things that you think, gosh, I'm sure some other woman who's probably older now at some point when she was younger played the heck out of this record too. Now I'm going to take it home and play the heck out of it too. Or vintage like kitchen towels and things that are embroidered. I mean, there's just so many fun things, and every time you go back into these shops, it's something new.
Have you ever gone to Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' home?
I've not.
In Cross Creek?
No.
Oh, you should go. You would love it.
I would love it.
Yeah. They wear the staff. It's a state park, but the staff wear costumes from the era, from Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' era.
That's fun.
You could be the modern Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings.
Possibly.
Her typewriter is still there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my
You know who
gosh.
she is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So her typewriter is still there, right on the porch. It's just you could get there in a half hour from here.
Oh my gosh, that'll be a trip I'll have to take.
I'm going to tell you something really cool that I did when my son was younger. We rented, or actually we got it from the library, so we didn't even pay anything for it. The movie Cross Creek. is a story about her. It's about Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. So you watch the movie, and then you get in the car and you go up to Cross Creek, and you're in the place that the movie was about.
That's cool. Yeah.
And the water pump that she used is still there.
That's still there.
Still works.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool when you transform yourself into a place that I've watched a movie and then there you are.
Right. And you have
we have a phone call.
You do have a phone call.
Great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, folks. I just want to say I love your magazine. I'm very proud of it. I work all over the country, and I don't see any magazines in cities that really compare. That is a very classy magazine. Very proud to say I'm associated with it when it comes to Ocala. I just would Larry, I had a question for you. Did you get a chance to speak to Lennon? Was on the rebound, and then two for the lady in the studio. Carly Simon was James Taylor's girlfriend for quite a while, and James Taylor will be in Dallas today playing a tribute to John F. Kennedy. So if you want to catch that, might be something.
All right, that's cool.
Oh.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that.
That's great.
All right,
Thank you
thanks.
so much.
Yeah.
I did not speak to John Lennon to answer the question because I didn't wait around. I felt like I didn't know him anything.
I would have probably tracked him down.
But I did speak to Carly Simon.
You've spoken to Carly Simon?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She said, nope.
That's all she said.
I worked at the Nassau Coliseum, just to tell you the story, and James Taylor was performing, and I had my duty that day was right by the side of the stage. Everybody had their own little place to be, so that was my day to be because I asked because I was big fans. He was playing on stage, and I stood right next to her, and I looked over and said, "Holy cow, it's Carly Simon!" So I said, "Are you going to sing with him?" And she said, "No,"
That was it.
and she did. She lied to me.
She lied.
She lied to me.
Oh.
And the children that
her.
are now very famous of theirs were there. They were little tiny children at the time, but now
And I love James Taylor too.
Have you heard the what's in the son's name? I can't remember James Taylor's son's name.
I don't know. And it was funny because I just, in fact, was listening to Carly Simon this morning and posted one of her songs on Facebook, and I was scrolling through and saw the, James Taylor and Carly Simon.
Right.
All these different songs and things of that nature. So that's cool. I'll have to look for that. I wonder if that's going to be something televised. I'm sure.
Well, and that's one thing I like about James Taylor is he's so involved in things that are, bordering on not really political, but he just supports the people who he supports. In other words, he just doesn't support them with his vote. He gets out there with his guitar and he shows that he's on their side.
Sure.
So it's always good.
That's amazing. That was nice of him to call in. And what a great compliment about Ocala Magazine.
And you know what? I agree.
Fantastic.
And I've also seen magazines in other towns, and you guys really do a great job.
Well, we appreciate it. We, we know we're a city magazine, and there's numerous things that go on in our city, all across the spectrum. And we like to think that we take the cream of the crop and the quality and put it into our magazine so that it can sit on a coffee table or in an office or something and be read for months on end.
And read is an important part. You have some really talented writers, you among them.
Thank you.
And I guess to comment on some of the other magazines in other towns is often it's not about the articles and more about the photographs.
Right.
Which makes them fun to flip through, but there's nothing really to kind of sink your brain into.
It does. And it's very hard because the internet makes it difficult because everything you could ever want to know about anything is on the internet at our fingertips. So a lot of people have gotten away from the idea of sitting down and enjoying the words that make up these articles.
That's right.
So for us, our job is not just to introduce Ocala to different business people and entrepreneurs and historians and things of that nature in our own backyard, but to, when you're done reading it, make you feel like you've been there or you've eaten that food yourself, or now Miss Lydia. You don't just walk in, hello, I own a store, but you know her story, and you see her as a person and a successful person in our community.
So second chances is
second
the theme
helpings.
today. Second helpings. Thank you.
November's issue has Miss Lydia Colon of Legends. Phenomenal lady, such a sweet lady. I had the opportunity to meet with Connie yesterday from Connie's Thrift and Consignment, and she will be in our December issue, along with Hospice, who I am going to have the pleasure of meeting this afternoon after I leave here.
All right.
And so the section itself is growing because more and more people want to get involved so that Ocala knows exactly where to go. And there is a bus tour here in Ocala that you can get involved
Really?
with. Yes,
Really?
you pay a small fee, and it takes you from consignment shop to consignment shop between here and Bellevue, and each little shop has food or snacks or fruit set up, so
I
you
didn't
get
know
to
that.
shop and socialize with your girlfriends, and it's a whole little tour.
I don't have girlfriends, plural.
That's probably good. You can get into trouble that way, you know.
Maybe I should say I do. I do have girlfriends, plural. I should say I do. So how do you do that? How do you sign up for that?
Well, what you can do is I got the information yesterday from Connie's. It's going to be on our Facebook page. I just got some information this morning. Go to Ocala Magazine's Facebook page. Please like us. We encourage you to do that so you can stay up to date with this kind of information. And it will be on there, numbers to call, the cost involved, and all of the stops in between.
Kelly, you're outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a little break. Fun chat, as always. We'll take a little break. Be right back.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. Times of clouds and sunshine and warm today with a passing shower, the high 79 to 83. It'll be partly cloudy and mild tonight, low 60 to 66. Another nice day tomorrow with clouds and sun and a high of 79 to 83. When we get to Sunday, it'll be partly sunny, windy, and cooler with a chance of a shower. High